England great Gary Lineker once said, quote, "Football is a simple game. 22 players chase the ball for 90 minutes, and at the end, the Germans always win." Funny enough, an Englishman to explain the Germans. Through 2018, though, this phrase rang true time and again. But after a few down years, it feels like Deutschland is once again a contender in 2026. Welcome to Kickback Soccer Media's World Cup Capsules, where you'll learn everything you need to know about all 48 of the national teams competing at the 2026 World Cup. From the history of the game, the nation's current World Cup trajectory, unsung heroes, and cultural moments. I'm David Gossett. Today, we are talking about Die Mannschaft. A country with a deep history of dominance, a strong domestic league, and a healthy supporter culture, Germany is always in the conversation as a World Cup contender. They've made the World Cup semifinal so many times, 13, that FIFA might consider just advancing them right through to the semis every tournament. It might be a bad joke, but also, let's be real, FIFA maybe would. But some of the big names that defined their previous runs have retired, and a new generation has struggled to prove Gary Lineker right once again. Germany was one of the earliest adopters of soccer, with matches dating back to 1874. The Dresden English Football Club is considered the first modern football club in Germany and probably the first in continental Europe. It was founded in 1874 by Englishmen living and working around Dresden. In the following 20 years, the game achieved a growing popularity. Football clubs were founded in Berlin, Hamburg, and Stuttgart. The German national team began playing in 1908. German soccer went through rough patches during both world wars. With the rise of Nazism, left-leaning sporting associations were banned. Communist sporting officials such as Ernst Grube, Reichstag deputy, and head of Rotsport were murdered in concentration camps. From 1933 to 1945, the highest level of play in German football was organized into 16 Gallaghen, whose winner qualified for the finals in the German Championship held at the end of the season. The records of German Jews were erased from the DFB's record books, such as those of Godfrey Fuchs, who had scored a world record 10 goals for Germany in a 16-0 win against Russia at the 1912 Summer Olympics in Stockholm, becoming the top scorer of the tournament and setting an international mark. Since 2005, in memory of former German Jewish Olympian international footballer Julius-Hirsch, who was killed in an Auschwitz concentration camp during the Holocaust, the German Football Federation awards the Julius-Hirsch-Preis for outstanding examples of integration and tolerance within German football. After the war, Germany was occupied in 3 states. The DFB and its team continued in what was called West Germany, while the Saarland and East Germany fielded separate teams for many years. In the year of German reunification in 1990, West Germany secured its 3rd World Cup as West and East Germans celebrated together. The present-day Germany national team is identical to the team representing what was informally called West Germany from 1942 to 1990. As the German Football Association was again recognized by FIFA after World War II. The first game with the unified German national team was against Switzerland on December 19, 1990. Reunified Germany won its first major international title at Euro 1996, becoming European champions for the 3rd time. To go through the World Cup history for Germany is just too long. There is so much in there, so let's just focus on Germany's 4 World Cup titles, tied with Italy for 2nd most ever, just 1 behind Brazil. Germany have won the World Cup in 1954, 74, 1990, and 2014. They've also been runners-up 4 other times in 1966, 82, 86, and 2002. In 1954, West Germany, captained by Fritz Walter, lost to Hungary 8-3 in the group stage of the tournament. That group, known as the Mighty Magyars, were the tourney favorite, but Germany faced them again in the final. Hungary had gone unbeaten for 32 consecutive matches, and West Germany snapped the streak by winning 3-2, with Helmut Rahn scoring the winning goal. The success is called the Miracle of Bern, Das Wunder von Bern. As hosts of the 1974 World Cup, they won their 2nd World Cup, defeating the Netherlands 2-1 in the final match. The first group stage saw a politically charged match as West Germany played a game against East Germany. The East Germans won 1-0, but it made a scant difference to the West Germans as they advanced to the knockout stage. At the 1990 World Cup in Italy, West Germany won their third World Cup title in its unprecedented third consecutive final. In the final, captained by Lothar Matthäus and managed by Franz Beckenbauer, they defeated Argentina 1-0 to lift the trophy. Beckenbauer, who won the World Cup as the national team's captain in 1974, thus became the first person to win the World Cup as both captain and manager, and the second to win as player and manager, after Mario Zagallo of Brazil. In 2014, they beat Argentina yet again, this time in extra time when super sub Mario Götze chipped Sergio Romero in the 113th minute to secure trophy number 4 for Deutschland. This team was made up of stars like Thomas Müller, Mesut Ozil, Manuel Neuer, Philipp Lahm, Bastian Schweinsteiger, and the eternal goal-scoring Miroslav Klose. They became the first ever European team to win a FIFA World Cup in the Americas. Then all of a sudden in 2018, something originally thought to be impossible happened. Even at its lowest points, the teams still succeeded for Germany at tournaments unlike a France or an England. But in Russia, they had failed to advance out of the group stage for the first time, losing to Mexico and South Korea. To follow it up in 2022, the Germans were shockingly exited once again in the group stage. This included the unexpected opening game loss to Japan to open up the tournament. There is a laundry list of unforgettable events in the national team's history, but a singular moment that is sure to bring a smile to any German's face is their 7-1 drubbing of Brazil in the 2014 World Cup semifinals. Let's step back for some context. The tournament was being held in Brazil. They've got their young superstar in Neymar. They seemed like a team of destiny, and Germany stepped into the fray in the semifinals and said no. Neymar was injured and captain Thiago Silva was suspended, but it was still expected to be a tight game. Germany scored 4 goals in a 7-minute span in the first half and were 5-0 up by the 30th minute with goals from Thomas Müller, Miroslav Klose, Sami Khedira, and 2 from Toni Kroos. Germany's 7-0 lead in the second half was the highest score against Brazil in a single game. It was Brazil's worst ever World Cup defeat, while as Germany broke multiple World Cup records with the win, including the first team to reach 4 consecutive World Cup semifinals, the first team to score 7 goals in a World Cup knockout phase game, the fastest to 5 consecutive goals in World Cup history, with the 4 goals scored in just 400 seconds. And they were the first team to score 5 goals in the first half in a World Cup semifinal. But things have looked different for this German team since that glorious night in Brazil. But in September of 2023, Julian Nagelsmann was named the new head coach. After a rocky end to that year, only winning 1 of the 4 games played, Germany found itself back in form in the new year with a second victory against France and the Netherlands, strengthening hopes for a successful Euro 2024 campaign on home soil. Germany won the tournament's opening match against Scotland 5-1. Germany went on to defeat Hungary 2-0 in their second match to qualify for the round of 16. After defeating Denmark in the round of 16, Germany went on to the quarters, where they were defeated 2-1 after extra time by Spain. Germany topped their qualifying group, winning 5 of 6 games on the road to the World Cup. Under Nagelsmann, the German team has started to look better, but it is yet to fully click like previous top German generations. It seems like Germany is largely able to take care of business against lower opponents, but struggle to compete with Europe's best, especially in knockout tournaments. Nagelsmann is known for his versatility with formations, maintaining possession, and implementing, of course, gegenpressing. Gegenpressing is counter-pressing. After you lose possession, immediately attempting to win it back rather than dropping back and regrouping. He's considered one of the best young managers in the world. The German squad's full of young talent, too, who are in or near their prime. They've already featured for the national team, and many of them are stars with their clubs. At the top of the list is Florian Wirtz, Karim Adeyemi, and Jamal Musiala. In addition, veteran players like Joshua Kimmich, Leon Goretzka, and Serge Gnabry continue to play their parts for the national team. With Germany being one of the top producers of talent, it would not be shocking if Nagelsmann and the squad turned things around in 2026. While Germany aren't favorites to win, history has shown that they are never too far from achieving big things. We love to talk about some of the up-and-coming stars in the world game, some who could be featuring in big roles at the World Cup. And none is bigger than Nick Woltemade, a 23-year-old striker for Newcastle in the Premier League. He came up with Werder Bremen and had a stint with Stuttgart before moving to Newcastle in the summer of 2025 in a club record deal, reported to consist of an initial fee of £65 million, plus an additional $4.5 million in add-ons. This made him the first Newcastle player to score in both their Premier League and Champions League debuts. On the 5th of October, Woltemade scored a penalty in a 2-0 win over Nottingham Forest, becoming only the third player to score in his first 3 matches at St. James Park, behind Les Ferdinand and Alan Shearer. He made his senior debut for the national team just a couple months ago in June of 2025. His impressive start with Newcastle has been a level up that not many expected. Despite the high price tag, Woltemade was still an unknown, especially considering he was replacing Alexander Isak. His play has turned opinion on him and made him one of the hottest strikers in world soccer at the moment. He's characterized by his versatility. He is a tall forward, but he's athletic, he's quick, he's comfortable on the dribble, and he's strong technically. He's good at both dropping in, receiving the ball, linking up with players, or helping launch them into the attack, but he can also, of course, push up high and finish chances himself. Off the field, German fans are known around Europe and the world as some of the most passionate and creative fans. And the relationship between clubs and fans in Germany is something that's often envied by other fans and clubs around the world. Low ticket prices, high attendance, incredible stadium atmospheres have led to legendary fan achievements in Germany, like the Yellow Wall of Borussia Dortmund, cult clubs like Union Berlin and St. Pauli, with strong community roots and amazing tifos and fan displays at almost every ground. All of this is made possible by the 50+1 rule. The 50+1 rule is an informal term used to refer to a clause in the regulations of the DFL, the German Football League. The clause states that in order to obtain a license to compete in the Bundesliga or the two Bundesliga, a club must either wholly or majority own its association football team. In case of majority ownership, the football team is operated as a separate company of which 50% of the votes plus 1 vote must belong to the parent club, while the rest of the votes can belong to investor. The rule is designed to ensure that the club's members retain overall control, owning at least 50% plus 1 of the club's shares, protecting them from the influence of external investors. Well, the draw was not friendly to Germany as we look forward to the 2026 World Cup. Put in a group with debutants Curacao, but reigning African champions Ivory Coast, and the number 2 team out of South America in Ecuador, it is going to be a tough test for a German team that's going to have to travel from Houston up to Toronto and then down to New York. They are going to be pushed to their limits just to get out of the group stage in a strong position going into the knockout rounds. I think they will be good enough to go toe-to-toe with most teams they face, but this doesn't feel like 2026 is going to be the return of the trophies and an opportunity to tie Brazil at the top of the World Cup standings. Fun fact to let you go on, approximately 65% of Germany's highways, the Autobahn, have no speed limits. They also invented the automobile, so it kind of adds up. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to follow us at Kickback Soccer as well as at First Touch for all of our World Cup coverage across social medias and podcasts. We are doing a show like this about every single nation that is qualified for the 2026 World Cup.